Hey everyone, welcome to Almost Cancelled. We're still talking about Luke Cage. This is episode 6. It's called Suckas Need Bodyguards. Full spoilers, as always. It's funny, because in the last video, the last review we did, we speculated a little bit. Oh, maybe Cottenmouth, that'll be wrapped up, somewhere.
Hmm.
And you specifically said, oh, maybe about episode 8 or 9, the two-third mark. And, well, it's not completely wrapped up.
I don't think it's wrapped up at all yet. I think there's still at least another two episodes from this story.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. There'll be prison stuff or not prison, but like trial stuff or however this is going to evolve. But I almost started laughing when at the end of this episode he's in handcuffs, and I'm like, well,
We're definitely getting the damn man back stuff in this.
I think even you were overstretching your prediction a bit.
I was a little bit apparently.
So no, but yeah, this was, and you know what? Do you know what I appreciate about this episode? Actually, before we even start, it opens with a nice little cameo from Trish from Jessica Jones. Her radio
Mm.
show is playing at the start of the episode,
Yeah, it's nice.
talking about what's going on. It's a nice little connective tissue. And obviously, Claire meets Luke in this, and they have. I actually really liked their scenes together. If there was a nice sort of natural awkwardness, but not awkward in like a bad way, but awkward in that. Oh, we met because I was saving your life when you were half dead.
But you don't remember.
Yeah. So I like that, and Claire clearly is still on our experience from Daredevil season 2 has, as we seen last episode, put her on this path of thinking, right, I want to help these people who can help people, and she's
Yeah.
like continues to talk to him about how he should do more, and he even says, "You're sounding like Pop now," and.
Hmm.
So clearly, I think that the arc for him in the second half, obviously, he'll have to deal with whatever villainous, whether it's still Cottonmouth from within, whether it's Diamondback, whether it's whatever. I think the arc for Luke in the second half of the season now is probably going to be the journey to the hero for hire, or even if it's not specifically for hire part, but they're hinting
Yeah.
at it again because Fish is like, you can charge for this.
Yeah, what is it? I ain't no hero.
Yeah,
Now pay me.
that's good.
It was good.
That's good.
Yeah.
But what I really liked about this episode is one, it was very focused. It was very focused on one key sort of pivotal thing. And that pivotal thing was surprising. I was not expecting, when Cottonmouth goes to see Scarfe at the start of the episode about his guns, I was not expecting that scene to turn out how it did.
No, obviously we saw Scarf do the power play before,
Yeah,
and then he tries again, but this time it doesn't go as well for him.
it doesn't. But even when he punches him, I didn't think it was going to keep escalating. I thought it would.
Hmm.
I thought Scarf would back down. He would realise he's out of his element or whatever. But he immediately goes for his gun. But then Cottonmouth shoots him like twice.
Yeah, he brought the gun into play. It's his
Yeah.
fault.
Well, I don't really care whose fault it is, but it escalates.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
he brought it on himself.
yeah, it did. But I didn't see it going there. I didn't see like him being. It's like, oh, because no matter where the rest of the episode went, as soon as he gets shot, I was like, well, this is advancing things. Like, because either the police are going to obviously we know the rest of this, but at this moment, I'm like, even if the police find him, the questions, why is he there? Why is he shot? Who was he meeting?
Yeah.
If whoever else finds him, whatever happens, this is going to advance the story in a much quicker way than I was expecting at this point.
Yeah, I think this whole episode went much quicker than we were expecting. So like I said, I was expecting this Cottonmouth stuff in another like 8 or 9. And this is what 6, so
Yeah.
way earlier.
And even then, when you said 8 or 9, like it was still possible that would be when he gets caught, and then it'll still be stuff with him.
The aftermath.
Yeah. Whereas it feels like we're already getting into the aftermath of that. Now, obviously, his cousin's still in play, and
Yeah.
there's all that stuff where she's getting the live interview on TV, and she's basically, the interviewer starts bringing up her family history and her connections to Cottonmouth, and
Yeah. It feels like she's going to be the one to call in Diamondback.
very possibly. In fact, one thing we should talk about is the scene that she has with Cottonmouth, where she tries to after Luke Cage runs into her and makes it clear that he's here to put a stop to what's going on. She, after all season, being like, I don't want details, I don't want to talk about specifics.
Mm.
She starts like saying, you need to take care of Luke Cage, and she starts offering ideas. Okay, you can't shoot him. Can you drown him? Can you do it? But what I love about that scene is the camera goes in super close, almost uncomfortably so. It's over the shoulder shots, but it's so close that sometimes the shoulder of the Cottenmouth was completely covering most of her face, and the camera went handheld. It was kind of shaky, and all of it was like, she's talking quieter because she's now talking about stuff that she never wants to be seen talking about, and we're getting really intimate, like uncomfortably intimate.
Do you want it kind of reminds me they're treating Luke like Rasputin. Like the idea that obviously the myth was he couldn't be killed, and they plotted all these different ways to get him, and it's kind of that's the start of almost that story, where it's her like, right, so we can't do that. What can we do? And like it's the start of a sequence of events.
Yeah, I mean, if they were saving Diamondback for a later thing, I could almost buy her becoming the full villain for the second half of the season.
Yeah, I could see it.
Now that she's been torn down and she's been her public image and everything she was fighting for and campaigning for has basically been lost. Like, there's no way she's,
No, she's lost her reputation, and in politics, that's everything.
Yeah, unless you're Donald Trump for some reason, but so. But yeah, everything's focused on this, and Scarfe goes to the barber shop, and we get to see Claire be all night nurse and fix him up, and Luke gets the information that he's got all this evidence. Meanwhile, the other cop, who's Dirty Perez, is with Misty, and it's funny, he's been really obvious about how corrupt he is because he keeps trying to stall her from doing things. And to her credit, she does
she does this time, yeah.
She figures it out. She's a really smart thing with the phone. What I liked about those scenes, though, is I like that one of the things you said a few episodes ago was you were maybe not convinced that Misty should have picked up and that her partner was corrupt. And I don't know if maybe it's enough, but she does bring in some stuff here in the backstory that tells you why she is so attached to him. Why
she's cutting some slack and stuff, yeah.
Because he was the one cop when she got called up that didn't think she was, useless and out of place, and treated her with respect and trained her, and
yeah.
So it tells me that at least at a time he was a better person.
Yeah, well, obviously she speaks how she went through a personal tragedy. It makes me think maybe that was when things started going wrong for him. That's when he turned. Yeah,
we found out about his son and how his son accidentally killed himself with his gun.
This is why you have gun safety laws, America.
Let's not get that political, please.
No, it's not, no.
But, yeah, so I like that because it added a bit more to that and why she was sticking up for him a bit longer than maybe she should have been.
Yeah.
By the way, I realised their captain. I didn't recognise her at first, but I'm pretty sure she's from The Wire. It dawned on me this episode. I know you've not seen it, so it doesn't mean anything to you.
Doesn't, sorry.
But the fact that she's a cop again is kind of cool. It cracks me up. But so we have all this thing where, okay, right, they're going to use Scarfe's evidence to put Cottenmouth behind bars. They don't know who they can trust in the police because of all these dirty cops. So they get Claire's mum's van and they're driving them to the police, the headquarters, the local headquarters of the police, police plaza, I think they call it. But Cottenmouth's put out a hit. He's put out a hit, $100,000 for Scarfe's life, and they obviously.
I think what I like so much about that $100,000 is obviously that's how much Scarfe was extorting him for, and it's showing it's not about the money. He's willing to pay that for the right thing. It's just he's just not willing to have it extorted out of him.
Yeah, but it's also kind of amusing that it's still going to cost him that.
Well, no, but that's what I thought was very intentional. He's like, look, you want $100,000. I'm willing to pay $100,000 to get rid of you, but I'm not going to give you this.
I get that, but there's still an irony to it. There's still an irony that he didn't want to pay it, but now he's having to pay it anyway to deal with the problem. He's caused himself out of that money in the end anyway.
Like I said, I really don't think he's concerned about the money. I think it's more he just didn't like the idea that someone thought they had power over
I agree with that, but I disagree that he doesn't care about the money. We've seen in the last couple of episodes that he's very hard up for money right now.
He is, but I think it was like not as much about the money then. Okay, he does care about the money, but not to that degree.
But so we get some action here. It's probably some of the better action that we've had in the show so far with the car chase, and I think the reason why the car chase works well enough in this episode, it doesn't do anything particularly special. It's well shot as it is, but it's not like the best car chase you've ever seen. It's not like some super impressive thing. But I think because the show isn't intentionally having action in every episode, and because it isn't intentionally filling a quota, per every 10 minutes or whatever, because it is withholding, that when we do get some, it feels a bit more impactful because, oh crap, it was a car chase. This feels kind of big because has been so,
Yeah. It also had some fantastic music for that. I really liked it a lot.
And again, when he jumps up, and probably maybe even my favourite moment of the episode is when he saves Claire and Scarf from the car that's going to run into them. I really like how that shot, because it just stays on her. It focuses on her and the headlights like shining up her face, and you kind of know what's about to happen and what does happen when it doesn't hit her. But when it cuts to him, the music, which again sounds very Western-esque, hits as we see that he's done the heroic thing, and so it's again it's very he stepped in and being the hero, and it feels like a very Western moment. And obviously that's kind of where we're getting to the end of the episode. Misty has a final moment with Scarf, because she's like shown up just at these final moments because they've heard the gunshots, and we have Cottenmouth logged off to prison, and a little bit of the political play in the police station about how it's been kind of taken out of their hands now.
Yeah, but obviously Misty now is determined to sort it out.
Yeah. But they mentioned Fisk, and they mentioned how this is the second time a big crime boss like this has had police, obviously not in Harlem, but in the surrounding, all of New York. And
yeah, it's a widespread issue.
Yeah, so they're taking it very seriously now. So, no, it was a good episode. It's maybe the best one. I'd say this is the first one where I'm thinking, okay, this in episode 2 have got they're odds now. I'm not sure which one's my favourite now.
I felt that about last episode, but I think this is a bit better than that.
Cool.
Yeah, but just you mentioned Claire acting like Pop.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it be to see her take over the barbershop? Because obviously, she's got have somewhere to run her night nurse stuff from.
So you think it'll still be a barbershop, but it'll be a front for her night nursing?
Yeah.
I can see it.
That'd be an interesting way to give her a home base.
I was already thinking it would turn into Luke's Heroes for Hire office.
Yeah, could do.
But that could just be Jessica Jones's office that becomes that when that becomes a thing. So
yeah,
I don't know. Which is why I'm curious as to how this will play. After Defenders and after we've had Jessica Jones season 2, are they going to go to the point where her and Luke properly become a couple and become? Because in the comics they get married, they have kids.
Yeah.
And I'm at that point, what does it become? Does it become a joint show that's called Heroes for Hire, or does it just play out in one of them? Where do they go with that? I'll be curious to see what the tactic is there.
That's true. Yeah, that'd be interesting, because obviously they've shown in this one they're not afraid to just continue stories from other shows anyway. So yeah, they could go either way with that.
I really don't know. I feel like there's a point where you kind of have to converge them, but I don't know.
Yeah. My other thing with Claire is obviously I was saying, oh, maybe this will be a home base. It makes me think, what's her role in the rest of the shows? Because obviously she needs to have a home base if she's going to be doing this. Because at the minute she's just kind of in and out of everyone's place. But at what point does it go, right, this is her place and everyone visits her in the other shows?
Well, we're getting to that, because she's obviously setting up the whole night nurse thing.
Yeah.
So it could be there, could be somewhere else, but yeah. So that's Luke Cage episode 6. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. There's more Luke Cage coming later today. Long weekend, but we're hitting the halfway point now. Episode 7 is going to be the middle episode, so we're almost halfway. So thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, all that stuff helps us out a lot. Keep watching TV, guys. We'll see you next time.